everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Ashley Empowers. I'm Ashley, and welcome to a new episode of Dating with Purpose. So Dating with Purpose is a series where we interview and highlight couples who are dating with purpose, pursuing healthy relationships to be an example for you that it is possible. Before we get into today's episode, I did want to let you know that my institute, Worthy of the Wait, is officially open. So Worthy of the Wait is an institute that I founded years ago, helping women prepare for marriage from a place of confidence, femininity, and faith. It has been a transformational program for women all over the world who desire to be in a healthy relationship. If you're interested in joining us, enrollment is open for the next 5 days. And you can simply go to worthyofthewait.com to get more information. So to hop into today's episode, I'm really excited to interview Vivian and Weston as they share their personal journey of dating with purpose. Welcome, you guys. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Glad to be here.
Yes. So Vivian and Weston, I just want you to introduce yourself to viewers and let us know how you guys got together.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Vivian. This is Weston, and we met at work. I'm from California originally, and he's born and raised in Texas. And so we actually were going to the same church for 6 years. And then it took us actually working together at the church in the same building for us to actually meet. So we had been under each other's nose the whole time, but it was just a regular day at work. It was my boss's birthday, and I was going to the break room to get a spatula and that his wife left behind, and he was in the break room. And I didn't see him at first, but I just knew there was someone in the room, and I was just on a mission, and I was like, have you seen a little black spatula? And I just said that to the person who was standing in the side, and I didn't even make eye contact. And then he said, that little black spatula? And then I looked at him. We made eye contact.
Yes, we did.
And then I was just like, I've never seen this guy before. Who is this guy? He's kind of cute. And I think you're better at telling this next part of the story.
I had already noticed her. We had already been there for quite some time, and I had already noticed her probably about just the end of last year. So this is January of 2016. Oh, right. And she had asked for a black spatula, and in my head that day I was like, why is there a spatula in here? Anyways, she walked in, and I was on my P's and Q's because I was trying not to examine her as much as I could. And when she said a little black spatula, I took a cue, and I was like, there it is. Hey, this is my way in. And I said, that one. And she said, yeah. And she goes, do I know you? And in my head, the first thing I thought was, you don't, but you're about to. Okay. And I was like, and so I introduced myself, and she asked, have I seen you around here? You work, we've seen each other, and what do you do? And so I do IT. Mm-hmm. And she worked in our live production side. And so she was like, why haven't you come down to introduce yourself? And I had kind of drew a red line in the sand because we're both single, and I had noticed there were a lot of attractive women that were on this backside of the building, and I didn't want to walk over there. I had no business over there. Yeah. So I told her that, and she just said, "No, forget all that." And so she took me and introduced me down to every single person there. Coincidentally ending right where the last person I would meet or be with is right at her desk. And so she's like, "This is where I sit. This is where I work." And I kind of took that as my pass to get in.
So at that point, were you just being friendly, or did you say, oh, like, who is this guy?
I had this prompting. I was like, I should let him know where I'm at so he could find me. So everyone always says I made the first move because but yeah, I just, wanted to let him know where I was because I enjoyed talking to him and wanted to talk to him.
So fast forward, how did you guys actually get to a place from that moment to dating?
Okay, so we met in January officially, became an item in February, went ring shopping in March.
Hold on, what do you mean became united?
We became a couple.
Okay.
So I officially asked her.
A month later?
A month later, February, we're a couple. March of 2016, we go ring shopping on Good Friday. May of 2016, I get or April of 2016, I get the ring. May of 2016, I propose. September, we're married.
Okay.
So there's stuff in between, though. But yeah, it went really
So it happened suddenly.
fast. It really did. Yeah.
Okay, so up until that point, were you guys desiring marriage? Were you dating? Tell us about what your single life looked like prior to meeting each other.
For me, I was praying. I was just like, Lord, please don't send me anybody that this is going to be like a mess. And like, I'm not interested in dating a ton of people. I was just like, Lord, just bring me my husband whenever you're ready. And for me, I felt like I wasn't really good at picking the guy on my own. And so it had been probably a good, I think it was about 5 to 6 years where I was just like,
you weren't dating?
Not really dating. I mean, I'd gone on a couple dates here and there, and every time after the first date, it was just like, gosh, I'm not hearing the Lord about this guy, or, and so I just asked the Lord specifically to speak to me about the people I was meeting. And so I had been praying, and I wasn't really expecting it because I think I was just so used to, my time's not now. My time's not now. And so when we met, I thought he was really cute, obviously. So handsome.
Thanks, Boo.
But I was also a little cautious of like, okay, he's cute, but Lord, what are you saying?
Yeah. What about you, Weston?
I had come out of a prior relationship probably about 2 years before that. And honestly, when she came around, I wasn't looking for a relationship. I had personally just told the Lord that I wanted to just not even go into this area of relationship because it seems like I had a past that showed me that I had constantly fallen in this area. And so I was incredibly intimidated when I met her because she was a godly woman and I was trying to figure out how to be a godly man.
Wow. So after you guys met, started dating immediately, how did you know she was the one so fast?
She wasn't the one just yet because I never even thought about the one. I remember listening to a pastor talk about the one, and when he asked me that, he always told me, he said, "Hey, do you ever think you miss out on the one?" And I said, "Yeah, I think there's only just one." And he goes, "No, anybody can be the one. The one is can be such a title that you hold sometimes when you're walking into a relationship that if you feel like you miss out on it, then every other person afterwards is not the one." And so it's something that really affected me. And he told me that you become the one in your relationship. You grow. You're not just there yet. It's not a place that you arrive. And so I kept praying that I would become the one for her. And that she would be the one for me. And what that looked like was pursuing marriage from the beginning. And so
you guys were intentional. You knew that if you were going to date and be in a relationship, the goal was for it to lead to marriage.
we said that on date one.
Oh, really? So who initiated that
Okay,
conversation?
but date one took forever to even happen in my
It didn't take
eyes.
that long.
You're
Y'all
right.
was
You're right.
Within 30 days.
Oh, but we had like been talking at work only, and I was just like, I don't think he's gonna ask me out. And once he found out my age, I was just like, well, maybe he won't ask me out at all.
So wait, how long have you guys been married?
It's gonna be 4 years in September.
4 years. And how old are you, Vivian?
I'm 39.
39. Okay, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Weston?
I'm 30.
You're 30. So there's a 9-year age difference. So you were hesitant. Did you just figure he was younger than you?
I did. I mean, I kind of thought he was younger just because he looks so young. But I feel like I'm always older than everyone.
Okay. So you were wondering, is he ever going to like officially ask you out?
Well, and as we started talking and we figured out each other's ages, I just thought he was a little too intimidated because I was older. But we had great conversation and it seemed like everything was like flowing really nicely. And so I was just like, all right, Lord, well, If he asks, he asks. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
Yeah. What was your mindset finding out her age?
So we kept having these little day dates at work. So I would go by and just visit, and we would sit there and talk and have a small conversation. And so she had prompted one day and asked, Janelle, how old do you think I am? And I was like, 24. And then she was laughed, and I was like 26, and I was 26 at the time, and I was like 28 tops, and she was like, I'm 36, and for a moment there, I thought, I was like, am I pursuing somebody that I'm going to be able to relate to? I mean, there's a decade apart, but I chose not to believe that. And believe something different, because what I was experiencing between us and our conversations at her desk felt like it was as if we were a day apart. And so now we laugh at it, and we always seem like, I feel like I'm the older one and she's the young one, but she is.
Okay. So how did you actually go from these day dates to let me actually take you out?
It was Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, it was Valentine's Day, absolutely.
And I had gotten him a little card, and it was totally the Lord, because I don't do that. But I got him a card, and I just felt like the Lord was saying, just write him encouraging words. Just words. They don't have to make complete sentences, just like, you're courageous, or, and I didn't even know him that well. Just whatever the Lord was telling me, I just wrote it out on this card, and I gave it to him. You're better at telling that.
Coincidentally, that same day when she gave me this card, my love language is words of affirmation. So we had conversations about, just talking about things like this, how to encourage one another and build each other up in the Lord. So that coincidentally, that same day, which was Friday the 12th, and we had our first date on the 14th, I went to the men's restroom, and I was sitting there praying, like, Lord, I'm talking to this girl. She's great. I'm really crazy about it. I gotta ask her out. What do I do? And my friend at work was like, man, you need to ask her out. You need to hurry up and do it. Like, you guys are talking. Like, take her out. And so she comes at the end of work, and she drops off this card and then just runs. And
I said something. I don't remember what I said.
But she left a card, and I got her number that same day, and so I gained the courage.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her and asked her if she wanted to go out on this weekend, and she was available. So.
Okay, so that's awesome. So you guys have a significant 9-year age difference. You're also an interracial couple. Did you have a lot of people supporting you with the age difference and the fact that you guys are interracial?
I mean, my whole family, my family's interracial, so it's just like, it doesn't matter. There was no pushback. I've never experienced that ever.
Yeah.
I have younger cousins and whatnot in my family that are interracial. So when they saw me with a black woman, it was like, praise the Lord, like, this is great. It wouldn't have mattered, but I had all the support.
Well, is she the first black woman that you dated?
I've dated a black woman in the past, but I didn't think I was going to marry a black woman, nor that I didn't think she was going to be this fine. So.
Okay. So what about you, Vivian?
Well, I've had support throughout, like friends, family. First they thought I was a little like, okay, it's kind of young. Are you sure you're going to be able to relate to him? And so, and honestly, like you said, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the age difference. Mm-hmm. It's pretty wild. But as far as, in a racial relationship, my family is very supportive.
Awesome.
And I've had a lot of people say, like, you guys fit so well.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys made a beautiful child. So.
Yes.
Yes,
An
we
adorable
did.
son.
Thank
So
you.
how did you guys prepare for marriage? So since things happened suddenly, the engagement, you got married, what are some things that you did to prepare for that? Did you do premarital counseling? Like, how did you prepare for the actual marriage?
We definitely did premarital counseling, and in addition to that, we were looking at a lot of videos, Jimmy Evans videos. Mm-hmm. And we would have long conversations. We even met with other pastors together and just kind of talk through what this looks like.
Yeah.
And so we prepared. I feel like we prepared a lot, and even so, I feel like nothing can really prepare you for when you actually get in it. And it's been such a crazy fun.
Yeah, we did multiple classes. A class called Symbis. It was Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts.
That's right.
We had premarital counseling with one of the head pastors at a church down the street called Embassy City. His name's Tim Ross. We did XO marriage to learn from other marriages. We read books. We did questionnaires and quizzes and
Found out your love languages.
we did. I mean, we did everything that we could possibly do to prepare ourselves for marriage. Obviously, while not being married, right? Because there are things that are going to happen in marriage that you can't be prepared for until you've crossed over. So.
And you did these things because you weren't doing other things. So weren't you guys abstinent before marriage?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So did you have a conversation about that? And why did you choose to wait until you got married to be intimate?
We definitely had a conversation about it, and we both felt it was important. I know you have.
We wanted to honor the Lord. I've never done, this was the first time I've ever done it this way. And I wanted to believe what the Lord told me about this, and that the blessings of marriage and the things that come in marriage are in the confines of marriage. And anything outside of that tends to diminish it. And so I was obviously been on the other side of that. And we were so intentional about making sure that we were honoring the Lord with our hearts, our minds, our thoughts, our bodies, temptations, whatever it may be. And, because we wanted to do it right the first time, and to kind of gain that back, that what am I trying to say here? That sanctity, or not sanctity?
Yeah, we just wanted the Lord to honor our union.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to bring glory to the Lord. We wanted to we wanted to do it the right way, as we felt.
Pure.
Pure.
There it is.
Yeah, we wanted to be pure before the Lord.
Awesome. So you guys were able to do that until marriage. And so now that you've been married almost 4 years, is it what you expected it to be?
I don't know if I could say yes to that. We didn't know what it was going to be like, or I didn't know.
Because sometimes, when you're in a place of desiring marriage, you can just have this fairy tale image of what it's going to be, date nights every weekend. You're going to have these beautiful children, and it's going to be a breeze. What was your expectation, and how has it been?
I will say this, because I didn't think I'd marry a white dude.
Thanks, buddy.
I love you.
I love you so much.
And I love being married to you. The thing that I didn't expect, even though it's the plainest thing that's there, is the cultural difference. I mean, I think that's the thing that I try to just remind myself, around Thanksgiving time or just different things growing up. There's different things that he's going to want to eat and that I want to eat, and balancing these things out, or just how we were raised. But I think the biggest thing that I'm learning in marriage is just to listen more and try to compromise.
Got you. What about you, Weston?
Obviously, never being married, I'm walking into marriage. I've never had a godly example of marriage. I've seen other marriages, but but you see something doesn't happen necessarily in reality for your own marriage. So when I walked into it, I was a student, and I have been a student still, about learning how to be the best sacrificial husband I could be, and didn't realize that when I would get married, I would have a ton of blind spots that I had no idea about. And so going into it, I really realized doing it the Lord's way, there would have to be grace and mercy and forgiveness abounding, whether it was big or small. And actually having to do that, or being the one that needs to receive it because you didn't realize, hey, this was an issue or this was anything like that. So I didn't really have a full expectation of knowing what I was getting into, but it was more about walking this thing out with my wife day by day, and then really just understanding how I'm going to be a better husband to my wife.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great perspective and position that you have being a student of it. And I love that. So as we wrap up, so tell me really quick, did your parents, are they still together?
My father passed away when I was 11.
Okay.
And my mom remarried, and he later passed away. So it's just my mom.
Okay.
Right now.
And what about you?
I don't know my father. I was raised with a single mother.
Okay. And so as we conclude this interview, what is one thing that you recommend to couples or people that are dating or even married watching this to help them create a positive generational legacy for their family?
I would say put the Lord first. Listen to one another. And there's just going to be situations that will change throughout life, of course, like when we had Miles or, even after getting married, to just be flexible in the shifting because God's always going to shift
That's good.
something to help us grow.
Yeah.
And we have grown a ton. Just be flexible and listen to your spouse.
Okay. Weston?
Put yourself around marriages that other people that are married, and don't silo your marriage off to a point where you think that you're the only one going through it. I think the enemy works really well with trying to destroy marriages when you're not talking to other people about it, whether it's struggles or conversations or anything like that. You might feel like you're going through it yourself. And so my wife and I are surrounded by other marriages that are fruitful and thriving, and they're blessed, and that bleeds over into your marriage as well. And so then you rinse and repeat and do the same. And then really choosing each other. A lot of the times we can get hung up on our feelings, and they'll tell us things in the moment, but they're not true of the person. And so, and a lot of things in marriage can go down a feeling route instead of a choice route. And I would always, my best advice is to choose to love your spouse every day when the feeling's not there, because it will carry your marriage and it will thrive and it'll be so fruitful, and those feelings that you were searching for will end up coming back tenfold.
You're awesome. Thank you for that. That's so good. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. If anyone wants to follow Vivian and Weston, Vivian, I know you have a YouTube channel. Where can they stay in touch with you guys?
Oh, well, the YouTube channel is Vivian Leah Smith.
Mine's Weston Smith.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you guys next time.